And so, Ajoni's journey became a lesson for all of us. It taught us that courage comes from within, wisdom grows through kindness, and the smallest acts can bring about the greatest change. Even now, when the rains fall and the fields turn green, we remember the young man who dared to seek the stone of wisdom. His story will live on, whispered under the baobab tree and carried by the wind to every corner of our land. I remember the year the rains stopped in Oko village. It was a time when the earth cracked underfoot, and the air itself seemed to hold its breath. I was just a boy then, but the events of that year were told to me by Ajoni himself, the young man who saved us all. Let me share his story as I remember it. The sun rode the sky with unyielding fury, and every well in the village was dry. The people gathered beneath the great baobab tree, where Baba Ifani, the elder, addressed us. His staff struck the ground as he spoke, his voice heavy with the weight of our suffering. My children, Baba began, the gods demand courage and wisdom from us. The drought will not end unless we bring back the stone of wisdom from the sacred hill of clouds. Fear rippled through the crowd. No one dared to volunteer, for the hill was said to be guarded by spirits and beasts. Then Ajoni, a young man known for his sharp mind, stepped forward. His voice was steady as he spoke. Baba, I will go. I may not be the strongest, but I believe I can outwit any challenge. Baba Ifani placed his hand on Ajoni's shoulder. Wisdom, my son, is found in the most unexpected places. Go with the blessings of the gods. The villagers prepared provisions for Ajoni, and as the sun began to set, he set out on his journey. Ajoni walked for hours, his feet raising dust on the cracked earth. As he approached a dry riverbed, a leopard leapt into his path, its golden eyes fixed on him. Who dares walk here? The leopard growled. You look like prey. Ajoni, though terrified, kept his wits about him. Mighty leopard, he said, I carry a curse. If you eat me, you will never catch prey again. The leopard's eyes narrowed. A curse. Prove it. Let me go, Ajoni replied, and I will tell you where to find a herd of fat goats before sundown. The leopard hesitated but eventually allowed him to pass. Ajoni continued on, his heart pounding but his spirit unbroken. Later, he came across a pool of mud where fish were gasping for air. One of them, glimmering faintly, called out to him. Traveler, help us reach water, and we will repay your kindness. Ajoni was doubtful. What could fish possibly do for me? The leader of the fish replied, even the smallest beings have their strengths. Moved, Ajoni scooped the fish into a cloth and carried them to a nearby stream. As they splashed into the water, the leader called out, kindness is never wasted. Remember this. After days of walking, Ajoni reached the sacred hill of clouds. Mist shrouded its peak, and an eerie silence filled the air. As he climbed, a voice whispered, turn back. The stone is not for you. But Ajoni pressed on, and at the summit, he found the glowing stone of wisdom. A massive eagle, its wings wide as the sky, stood guard. Who dares seek the stone of wisdom? The eagle demanded. Ajoni stepped forward. I am Ajoni of Oko. My people are suffering. I have come to save them. The eagle's eyes pierced into him. The stone is not taken by strength or cleverness alone. Answer this, what is the greatest wisdom? Ajoni thought of his journey. He remembered the leopard, the fish, and Baba Ifani's words. The greatest wisdom, he said, is knowing that no one is wise alone. Wisdom comes from kindness, listening, and learning from others. The eagle nodded and stepped aside. You have answered wisely. Take the stone and return to your people. Ajoni picked up the stone, its warmth spreading through him, and began his journey back. When Ajoni returned to Oko, he held the stone of wisdom high for all to see. The villagers gathered around him, their faces filled with hope. As he placed the stone at the foot of the baobab tree, the sky darkened. Thunder rolled, and rain began to fall in torrents. The people danced in the rain, their joy uncontainable. Baba Ifani approached Ajoni, his face lit with pride. Ajoni, you have saved us, Baba said. What have you learned on your journey? Ajoni looked at the elder and the celebrating villagers. I learned that wisdom is found in humility, kindness, and the strength we draw from each other. Together, we are greater than we are alone. The villagers cheered, and the story of Ajoni's bravery spread far and wide. For years to come, elders would recount his tale, reminding the people of Oko that true wisdom grows when it is shared.